author and nutritionist Robert Ferguson. Please welcome Robert Ferguson.
All right, y'all, let's hear it for America's Fat Loss Coach, Robert Ferguson!
Hello. This is Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson. I am your nutritionist. I'm a guy who shares because I care. That's right. Today I'm going to share with you guys some information that you may go, that's interesting. I had no idea about that. I'm talking about how you can drink alcohol. You're hearing me clearly. How you can drink alcohol and lower your glucose levels. That's right, sugar in your blood. Also, we had a husband and wife lose a significant amount of weight. I'm going to share that with you, and I'll give some tips and tricks on how they did it because they ate real food, which takes us to this whole big crazy thing that is going on with Noom and Weight Watchers. I mean, people, wake up and hear me on this. These guys, these companies have been talking about how they have the solution for weight loss. And now they flip-flopped. They see the financial opportunity and they're jumping all on top of it. Meaning, hey, we have Weight Watchers, but we also want to promote these weight loss drugs. Oh my goodness. What is going on in this world? And then we're like okay with it? Think about it. We're not okay with it. Think about, okay, look. Noom, and some of you have probably tried Noom. I've had some clients recently that worked with me years ago. I wasn't coaching many people, and they were looking for help or whatever, and they saw Noom, and it sound pretty damn good. So they bought into it. They do it for a few months. Then they work their butt off to get out of it. And Noom's supposed to have the answer. And Weight Watchers, who I have major admiration for, Gene Nidich is one of my heroes. Before I got into helping people with nutrition and weight loss, I studied Gene Nidich. I know the whole history. I have the original cookbook that she wrote. I mean, I thought she was absolutely amazing what she did. I know her story inside and out. All the way up to where she got a disease. She had a really hard time talking. She ended up selling the company to Heinz. They ended up selling it. Again, she made some money. She lived a pretty good life. I think she unfortunately died when she was living in Palm Springs. She's turning over in her grave right now because Weight Watchers is not the Weight Watchers that we all grew up. My mom did Weight Watchers. Many of my clients have done Weight Watchers. And Weight Watchers and Noom are now promoting these weight loss drugs. Ozempic, Wegovy. They're flip-flopping. I mean, I read the articles. I see the pushback. The people in Weight Watchers are like, what the hell is going on? I mean, Oprah is an owner. She still has major shares with Weight Watchers. Is she like totally okay with it too? This world is crazy. It has really gotten crazy. And if you agree with me, say, Robert, we agree with you because it is absolutely crazy. It's like we don't realize what they're doing. Well, anyway, before I get into that, let me just say that this segment, and I'm going to dive in, I'm probably going to get some people upset, and I'm probably going to get a few people like cheering me on. But this segment is brought to you by our Detox Drop that for the last 2 months has been helping a lot of people, not just lose weight, but put them in a position where the blood pressure is coming down, the glucose levels are better, the structure of the program is really good, and you learn a lot about nutrition. And it maintains the integrity of our Diet for Your Life methodology. So it's not like it's some crazy like diet where like you're drinking juice and you're staying by a restroom all the time. This is not some crazy overhyped diet. So for those of you who are out there, keep telling people, share it with other people because it's working out to this is like the exact thing that many people need to either get going or they get to a place where they're not really losing weight and they're stuck, and then it helps them break through that. It's awesome. Okay, so if you want to learn more about the Detox Drop, just go to the store. I think there's some links there, and you can learn all about it. Okay, now let's get into this. Actually, before we get into this, let me take a moment and acknowledge my sister, who's no longer with us. Her name is Lavette Rayford, Lavette Anise Rayford. She's my sister. And unfortunately, when I was in my early 20s, she got into a car accident. She got hit by a train. She was in the car with another woman. Now, the other lady who was with her on the passenger side, she survived. And she was actually, I think, 9 months pregnant, or right like 8.5 months pregnant. And she went on to have that baby. And from all I know, she's continued to live her life. But my sister hit her head on a telephone pole as she was thrown out they both went out the passenger window. It was in a Monte Carlo. So imagine that. And my sister wasn't 120 pounds. At the time, she definitely was 200 plus pounds. So she went through that window. And when she landed, she hit her head on a telephone pole. And it hit a part of her brain where basically she became a vegetable instantly. And she was in a coma for almost 5 years. So every time I would go home to see my mom and my family and my niece, because my mom ended up taking care of my niece, every time I would go home, it was torture. And that's me. My mom and my niece, they were there all the time seeing her mom and my mom's daughter. So I would only experience it when I would go home and visit, which wasn't that often. And man, that was torture. It was torture. It was like they die again and again and again. And as all of you and many of you know, when you lose someone that you love, you lose them because you can't see them or touch them, but you don't lose them because you think about them all the time. And today is my sister's birthday. And the one thing about my sister is that she always made the most of her birthday. So I don't know if you know people like that. Some people will go a whole month, right? They'll go an entire month and just party. It's like birthday month, not birthday day, birthday month. That was my sister. So God bless her. Rest in peace, sis. I think about you daily and I love you. Now, let's get into this. Noom Weight Watchers are selling this drug. I'm only going to share one thing about the drug because I talk about it all the time. I'm only going to share one thing because this came up a couple days ago. And some of you will get this immediately and some of you will not get it. And if you don't get it and you work with one of our coaches, you work with me, bring it up because it's really important to know this. Well, I was on the phone with one of my dear friends who's a master trainer, master's, PhDs, all that, kinesiology. So he understands human anatomy. And before I talked to him, I was talking to one of my clients, Chris, who's doing really, really well. I believe Chris lost, I know on day 5 on the detox drop, he was down 12 pounds. So Chris, if you catch this, man, I know we have our call, this week, but I'm curious. I can't wait to hear, did you hit 14 pounds? Did you hit 15 pounds? But he really rocked the detox drop and is very happy with it. And his glucose numbers just plummeted. And not everybody loses weight like that. I mean, that was a significant amount of weight. True sign that he was ready. Well, Chris has a master's in kinesiology. Now, when I share this, which is when you do the weight loss drug, we know that somewhere between 66 to 75% of the weight that you lose with these weight loss drugs, the weight is coming from your skeletal muscle. Now, as soon as I said that to those two gentlemen who have this education in kinesiology, they both are like, because they know how damaging that is. You lose skeletal muscle, you age faster. You lose skeletal muscle, you increase mortality. That means you're more likely to die. Study back in January demonstrated that if 8% of your weight loss is coming from skeletal muscle, you increase your risk of heart attack by 300%. 300%. And that's for people who are between the ages of 50 and 80. You lose skeletal muscle, you experience frailty. You have bone loss, osteoporosis. It just takes you to a place where you're going to have a whole bunch of other problems when you lose skeletal muscle. They are not explaining that to you. So as a doctor who's recommending you take this drug, This is where you initially must lose all respect for any doctor who's recommending it unless they can back it up. But as a method or framed around informed consent, it is their duty as a physician to inform you so that you have informed consent before you take that drug. It ain't about weight loss on the scale. So any kinesiologist, if someone's a kinesiologist and they recommend this, that would be like going to your doctor and they prescribe crack. They shouldn't even be able to practice. It's ridiculous. This is it's mind-blowing to me. It is mind-blowing that people are falling prey to this. And even smart, financially established people are falling prey to it. They're so stupid that they don't even want to know better. It's unbelievable. Hip fractures you're going to see all of this increase over the next few years. Unbelievable. And Noom and Weight Watchers, oh my God. What are they saying? Okay, what are they saying? If you're catching me live, all right, what if it was me? So let's say for almost 30 years, I'm promoting weight loss with you eating food, the diet-free life methodology. And then out of nowhere, I go, hey, everybody, come to my store and buy the weight loss drug. What would you guys think of that? Especially for those of you who have known me for a long time. You know I've stayed consistent. That starts to mean something more and more, right? So I can bring on clients 15 years, 20 years, 25 years ago. I've remained consistent. You can go get my book from 2001, 2002. You can get my book from 2007. My last book, 2011. I'm consistent. Weight Watchers has flipped and flopped. Noom, they've only been around, maybe 8 years? And they're not really, giving you a methodology. Is more of like the psychology, and they pull you in that way. And now these two companies that are getting a large percentage of the people have flip-flopped and are telling you to take this drug. What would you think if it was me? What if I did that? Because I've been approached by companies to sell out. Man, I don't even know. I don't know what to do. It's mind-blowing to me. Now, I did hear through a couple of articles I read that a lot of the members with Weight Watchers are very upset. You have some lifetime members with over 30 years and they've done well. They've stuck to that diet. They didn't know about what we do at Diet Free Life. They stuck to it. They bought into it. They were vested. And now you have a company that's pushing a weight loss drug. Does it sound familiar? Didn't we just come out of something that was framed around that? Yes. Anyway, I just think that is absolutely horrible. Now, before I dive in and share with you guys how you can, first I'm going to give a shout out to one of my clients, longtime friend. This woman is absolutely amazing. Her name is Grace. And Grace, she just took the methodology and she knows it. And she dropped 57 pounds, 11% body fat, and 9 inches off her waist. Now, did it come easy, quick? And then when she hit a plateau, she reached out to me and we did her carb threshold report so she would know what her carb threshold score was. And I'm not going to explain the details of that. You can go to the site or email us and I can share that. But she just took that information and just went to work. Grace, I got to give you props. And then when she was sharing with me how her husband lost 260 something or 240 something down to 160. These guys are on a mission. They walk together. They eat together. They are real husband and wife. See the power when the husband and wife gets together? Because sometimes one will be real focused and the other one won't. Or the other one be focused and the other one won't. But when you're both focused, right? Because if one gets off, then the other one gives them an excuse. Okay, yeah, I'll join you. But when they're both focused, man, A family that eats together stays together, looks better together, feels better together. Everything gets better. I almost giggle because I think about I did a post. I was in a playful mood. So if anyone caught it, I did a post where I said, if I was on like one of those dating profiles, because I'm single. If I was on a dating profile and I just said, hey, nutritionist, author, and guy who cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The worst part about dating a guy like me without even trying, you're going to lose weight. You're going to feel better. Things are going to tighten up. It's just going to happen. I don't got to tell you what to do. It's like I'm either going to become more like her or she's going to become more like me. And it always works out where they want that. And so when I see these husbands and wives, I go, I get that. Right? Because oftentimes one of the persons in the couple is trying to pull them to eat this and eat that. That's not in alignment with the goals that they have in place. Okay. I'm done with Weight Watchers. I'm done with Noom. Nobody has any feedback that's catching me live. Hey, it's all good. Now let's shift to alcohol. Someone texted me the other day, and they were with some people, and these people had discovered that whenever they're diabetic or I think one's diabetic and one's pre-diabetic. And what they discovered is that whenever they drink alcohol, their blood sugar levels are better. So they're like, whoa, we figured it out. We have the Holy Grail. Drink some bourbon, have a shot of tequila, then we'll drop some weight. Oh, man, think about this. So how is that? How is that you can drink alcohol and your blood sugar levels drop? Well, there is a science to that. So I've talked about what are the best alcohols to drink. I've shared quite a bit about how alcohol is metabolized totally different than sugar. But here's the short of it. When you drink alcohol is metabolized, processed by your liver. Same as fructose. Now, the liver needs to break down the alcohol and deal with it because it's toxic. And while your liver is processing the alcohol, it stops releasing glucose, which is sugar. See, in your muscles as well as in your liver, you have stored sugar. It's called glycogen. So sugar goes into the liver, gets converted to glycogen, and it just hangs out like a storage room. But your body needs sugar. So if you're not consuming sugar, your liver is like, okay, my body needs sugar. The brain may be calling for it. Other tissues in your body are calling for it. So sugar, it goes from glycogen back to glucose or sugar into your blood. And that's what keeps what they call homeostasis. It keeps a balance. But if you're not consuming sugar, it's there. And if you have plenty of sugar floating around, then your liver just keeps it. And if you consume a lot of sugar and it compounds like a good amount, then that sugar starts to convert to fat because the storage room is only so big. So this is what happens. You'll see your blood sugar go down, but your blood sugar levels could drop really fast, and it could put you at risk for hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar. You can go into a coma. All right, let me say that again. You could go into a coma if your blood sugar levels drop too low. You can pass out if your blood sugar levels drop too low. So, yes, they think they're getting away with it, but they're not. And as they drink that alcohol and the body's dealing with that and they're focusing on the glucose, right? And they're going, okay, we're doing pretty good. And they're laughing. They're also building up fat inside of that liver, which then leads to fatty liver, then leads to NASH, and you start to get scarring of the liver. Then next thing you know, cirrhosis of the liver, or you got to get a liver transplant. And when the liver starts to go through those types of challenges, your kidneys become damaged. And then the kidneys have to start dealing with stuff. And now you're not in a good place. So now you know. So yes, you could have a drink, and if your blood sugar levels drop too low, that's why. Now, for those of you who are drinking alcohol, it's important that you don't consume processed foods while you're drinking alcohol, because processed foods, if it's not being metabolized, you have an additional increased risk of it being stored as triglycerides, fat floating around your blood, or fat in your cells or your liver. You with me? So you can get away with it for a while, but not too long. So when people are doing that alcohol and they think that they're like helping their blood sugar, you're not. You're not. Okay, well, anyway, this is I'm gonna call this Motivation Monday. My goal is to motivate you. Okay, it is Monday. So I want you to like get yourself focused, continue doing what you're doing, and learn how to eat instead of going for the drugs. If you go for the drugs, that is short-term success for long-term pain. If you learn how to eat, well, it's long-term. It takes a little bit more time sometimes. But going that extra mile in the beginning and learning how to use food or eat food to optimize your overall health and energy and all of that, that's with you for the rest of your life. And there's no side effects when you learn how to eat. There's side effects when you fall prey to the drugs. So it may feel like you're winning. That's only short term. And it's based on fear, false evidence appearing real. You really think you're winning, but yet you're worse off. That's the truth. So food is your friend, not the weight loss drug. And lastly, as I close out here, any doctor that is recommending you to take these drugs, unless they can back it up, because I have a few clients I've actually recommended to try the drug, right? Yeah. I would say 3 out of 100. So 3 out of 197 have them eat food. So everybody's different. But if I wish I could go into, well, I don't want to wish this on myself, but if I was at a doctor's office and the doctor recommended me to take this drug, any of those weight loss drugs, Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, man, I would love to record that conversation because I would have that doctor feel so stupid. They would be so stupid to recommend that drug to somebody who's informed. That just shows how they take advantage of people. And then the people who are smart, maybe you're a smart real estate agent. Maybe you're an amazing lawyer. And yeah, you probably make a ton of money. But you're so stupid that you're taking a drug because you haven't done your due diligence that is setting you up for increased risk for thyroid cancer, increased risk for suicide, increased risk for losing hair, increased risk for Ozempic face, increased risk for all of these side effects. And then you're in your mind, I see a lot of these people go, well, I'm just going to use it for 3 months. And once I get my weight down, then I'm going to get off of it. Okay. I can't wait to see how that works out. And I hope you're right. But remember, you may lose weight on the scale, but what type of weight did you just lose and you're over the age of 40 or maybe over 50? It's kind of like that person, you tear your Achilles tendon and you see your muscle atrophy. You ain't getting that muscle back. And now you're older and you did it all for the scale. Yay, I'm lighter on the scale. Look at me. But yet you just lost very important skeletal muscle, bone, and you probably lost some water. Very little fat. That's the reality. And that's the thing that nobody's talking about. Because who's paying the bills for these commercials on TV? The number one payer is the pharmaceutical industry. So do you want them to have someone on TV like me exposing this truth? Probably not going to happen because it's all about getting paid first. Unbelievable. All right, you guys, I'm Robert Ferguson. If you want to learn more, go to our website at dietfreelife.com. We also always make available some links. I recommend you start with the detox drop. After that, segue into the 8-week fat loss challenge. or you can reach out to us and learn more about being a coach, and becoming a coach, actually, but being coached, because there is nothing more effective than having a coach. Nothing. You can do it on your own, yes, and not everybody can, but some people can. But it helps to have a coach. There's nothing like it. Okay, so until the next one, you guys, be well. Share the good news over the diet blues, and I'll see you on Fat Loss Tuesday if you're catching this on a Monday. Peace out.